We've made great partnership with some companies as well as other police forces to help try to get better technology together, and we are getting better. As much as I like to say we're in step with them, we'll always be a couple steps back, because that's the reality. They'll find it first and we'll have to play catch up.
My name is Stuart FLEMING, and I'm an investigator assigned to the child exploitation section of our sex crimes unit here within the Toronto Police Service. Within the sex crimes unit, we investigate both the online and physical exploitation and abuse of children within the City of Toronto, within Ontario, and within Canada. And I'd like to bring your attention today to the gentleman I have depicted here beside me, Mr. Robert Rayner. Mr. Rayner is currently facing charges in relation to the possession of child pornography and associated charges. And as a result of that investigation, I would appeal to anybody who has had any involvement with Mr. Rayner over the past 10 years to come forward and contact myself or my office here at the Child Exploitation section with any information regarding the activities of Mr. Rayner. We're particularly interested in speaking to people who, over the past 10 years, come into that category, in other words, have had some contact with Mr. Rayner, and if they have lived in the Newmarket, Richmond Hill or Oak Ridges area of Toronto. However, I wouldn't be so specific with that information. If anybody, as I say, just to repeat myself, if anybody has had any dealings with him over the past 10 years, we would be very interested in speaking to you.
Detective, it's not unusual to charge child possession, possession of child porn. But to release a photo for someone who's accused of possession of child porn is sort of unusual. Why are you doing that?
It's unusual, but as you can see, the photographs here are actually aged. They're a photograph here from approximately 15 to 20 years ago, and coming to more recent photographs. And as you can see, his appearance has changed somewhat over the past 10 to 15 years. And that's why we're releasing the photograph, is to jog people's memory and to just remind them that if they have any information or if they've had any contact with him over that period of time, to come forward and speak to us.
What was Mr. Rayner doing for the last 10 years while in these Newmarket area?
Well, that's what we'd like to find out. We believe that he was engaged in online dating of women, and we believe that he used that activity to get close to these individuals' children.
They're children, or these women, young women?
No, these women's children.
These women's children. Can you give us a scenario?
No, I'd be guessing as to the scenario.
So do you think there are other victims out there? And just a general sense, was he having contact with the victims, or what was he doing?
At present, we have evidence to show that Mr. Rayner has in his possession photographs of children. The nature of these photographs I will not comment on. However, his activities in relation, as I said earlier to answer your colleague's question, is really that we believe that in order to get more exposure to children, he's dated women at online capacities.
Do you have reason to believe that he was making child porn, or at this point did the charges just extend to him possessing it?
He has been charged with possession of child pornography and making child pornography.
Oh, and making.
And so both.
Yes.
And why is he in custody now? How did you come to arrest him?
He was arrested after an investigation that took place in May, and he's been kept in custody since then, and he's awaiting trial on these charges.
So, Detective, are the victims that are depicted in these images that he's made, that he's taken himself, are these children of women he's dated?
I don't know.
Is that your fear, or can you explain what you're
That's
looking
our
at?
fear.
And what are you looking at?
At present, we have exhausted all lines of inquiry to try and establish the identity of the children that he has photographs of, and we're now appealing to the public to come forward, as I said earlier, with any information with regards to the activities of Mr. Rayner.
In terms of what you already have in your hands, how many assaults or many different victims should be looking at that you're fairly convinced, were victimized by this?
I'm not really in a position to say at the moment. All I can say is that every day throughout the world, throughout Canada and throughout the world, that there are countless children become victim to this kind of activity. I'm not in a position to say how many victims Mr. Rayner has had access to, for want of a better expression. And the other thing is to, the definition of a victim in this case. As soon as you take a photograph of a child and use it for an inappropriate purpose, as far as I'm concerned, that child is a victim, whether or not you actually lay hands on that child.
Where is Mr. Rayner now? Is he out on bail?
No, he's in custody at the moment, waiting trial.
And when you arrested him in May, where did that happen? And give us an idea of what you seized. How many images?
I can't give you an idea of the amount of images. A normal investigation with the Child Exploitation Unit would result in actual physical photographs being seized, and also, as we now are in the age of storage media, we seize different storage media, and we then investigate it, and we can't actually say how many children.
You must think this is significant. You must
sorry.
think this is significant, though. You're releasing photographs of him. I mean, how does this rank? You're not doing this with every single investigation that you have ongoing. Why this one?
With every investigation where we make an arrest for the possession of child pornography, we actually do a press release in relation to that arrest. So this is no different than any other arrest. The only difference I would say is that we've waited. I've carried out investigation. I've carried out interviews, and as far as I'm concerned, I've exhausted all lines of inquiry. At this stage, I'm in a position where I'm actually appealing to the public to come forward with any information that they might think that will be of any assistance to me.
So are you
basically, right now, you just have the photographs, you don't have the victims.
That's correct.
Where was he arrested in May? Where was he living?
He was arrested from his home address.
And that is in the account.
In Sinteron.
Interesting.
Does the evidence of the photographs lead you to believe that the victims were all in like the GTA area? Is that a concern?
Well, as I said earlier, in the child exploitation section, we investigate the abuse of children throughout Canada and actually throughout the world. So in actual fact, to say where these children are, I can't actually say that.
Was there any kind of pattern to his behavior based on the evidence you've collected, just to help narrow down, who these people could be that you're looking for? I don't know, did he target a certain specific kind of victim?
Well, as I said earlier, Mr. Rayner would appear to have spent a great deal of time in the online dating community, and it is my belief that in that activity he would expressly seek out single mothers with young children in order to get access to these children. As I've said here with my bullet points too, we're particularly interested, but not specifically interested, in speaking to people who have had access to him when they were in the Newmarket, Richmond Hill or Oak Ridges area of the GTA.
Why do you target those areas of the GTA?
That's just as a result of some information that I have.
Did he photograph boys or girls? Can you tell us?
I wouldn't be that specific.
And what about, do you have an online name for the use?
Again, I wouldn't like to comment on that.
Do you have reason to believe he could have been working with other people or sharing these photographs, or do you think this was all just from his own personal?
Again, working with others, I don't believe so. And as far as sharing the photographs, I can't comment on that.
So
Thank
how was he
you very
caught?
much. This information will be posted on the website along with the photographs as well.